Hey, welcome back here. So today's task, we're gonna go ahead and set up a WSUS server, a Windows Server update services. That way we can get our updates accordingly, our servers and our domain controllers and our workstations patched. So let's go ahead and log in. I already spent the server. It's already domain joined. But right now, let's go in with an admin account. We just gotta set up the roles. We have to set up the roles. We have to set up the GPO, and then let once we set up the role, it synchronizes back to Microsoft, and it brings all the data that we need to push out the patches, the critical patches. But once that, this is a two-part video because once it starts syncing, it takes a while. This is my second one. This is I have two on the same site, so it's not a hierarchy. It's just because this is a test lab, so not a hierarchy. But if I had a remote site, then we'll do downstream, upstream, downstream, meaning a hierarchy where you have multiple sites, remote sites, and you want to have one WSUS on each site, and then they fetch the data. That way, your bandwidth threshold doesn't plug up or doesn't. There's no downtime on your speed. Okay, so now I'm in the server. Let's go ahead and get that row going. I just built the server, but so let's go over let's go over a checklist, because this server, I have a document here. So the server needs to have, depending on your structure, and depending on your site, depending on the users or depending on the servers. But if it's like a business, like a small business, then your recommendations for your server, depending, right? 8 gigs of RAM, from 8 to 16, the CPU 4-core, and I'm doing it on a VM, and you need a storage, because that's where the data, that's where is going to be synchronizing. So you need to have at least 200 to 500 gigs additional storage, right? Like a drive, and I'll go over that after I deploy the role. That's so we're prepping it. Of course, you need to have at least 1 gigabit or higher of network speed. And of course, if you have an enterprise level, then you just double the requirements. That's about it. So, okay, we're gonna deploy it. We're gonna make sure we get the roles. We're gonna do the GPO. This part, of course, everybody, even before that, when you spin the server, you gotta have an IP address. You gotta make sure This is very important that it talks to your DNS, of course, and your WSUS does not need to be a DC. You don't need Active Directory on there. You don't need DNS. You just need that the roles, and I'll go over it. You need the role. You need the drive. Here, the D. We're gonna do a S or D. It doesn't matter on the lettering. And then this is where we're gonna do the syncing, and then once I create my GPO, I'm gonna target the GPO to do servers and domain controllers separately and workstations, and then we'll go from there. The synchronization takes a while depending on your speed. Once the sync is completed, that'll be probably part 2. I'll try to squeeze it in here. I'm not sure I'm gonna have time enough, but let's go ahead and let's test our Our server, this server, it already has an IP, a static IP, already has the DNS, already has a gateway, everything set. But we'll check it. This is a lab, so no need to record my IPs. So here it has a gateway, it has a. So these are my two DNS servers. So I just want to make sure. NS lookup. I'll make sure they're both there. DC1. Yep. DC2. No. DC3. No. Okay, that's fine. Let's do by the IP. We'll ping it. We'll ping it as well. This is one part you have to make sure. I already checked mine, so when your number lock is off, it switches up and down. That's funny. Ping 192.168.1.1. So this is my DNS right now. Okay, so it's pingable, it's reachable. I already know it works. That's an important part. We have our IP addresses set up. Let's start the roll. Once the roll, even if we see it here, it's not started yet. You have to add it. So and I can show you. Actually, let's go over it. Setup, and there's tons of videos like this, but I'm just doing it my way because I've already deployed a couple. I did one at work and I did one here at home. This is my second one, but I always confirm to make sure it works. So when we open up the console, you see we don't see any of the tools. So that's the way to know that your role's not completed or it's not installed. So we need to go ahead and run the role. So let's go ahead and add it. Let's go next, and then here goes Windows Server update services, and then everything's included. That's all you need for the most part. This is I think this is how it communicates. Before it used to be through SQL Server connectivity. Now it's through this, but I'm trying to brush through this. Store data. This is where my. Oh, okay. I'm gonna stop here. Now, I completely forgot I have to do the drive because this is where my drive is gonna go. So right now I don't have a drive for it. Yeah, meaning I need a drive, right? So let's go ahead and just to show you guys. I will do the. And this is compute management. This setup is done once, and then you just monitor it or you administer the patching. I was doing patching through a different way, but now we're doing it through this way. All right. It's not done. Disk management. Yep, I don't have anything. I already know. Once I create one, it's gonna pop right here. I'll take you guys through the steps because this is a very crucial step. I'll even leave it right here. I want to go back into Hypermanager. I'm gonna open up the settings. This is done on the. You don't need to bring down the server for this. Just add a drive. And we're gonna do 3, and we'll put WS US 02 new. Next, we're gonna do Microsoft recommends to do a fix, but I'm just doing, since this is a lab, I'm doing dynamic. I only want 100 gigabits on here. So go to next, 127, finish. Once you set up your drive, you want to make sure. So now let's go back into that host, that VM. Let's go into computer manager, disk manager, disk manager. So here, I'm gonna bring this up. It's right here. Look. So now we have to set it up. We have to initialize it. We have to bring it up first. Let's bring it up online. And then we're gonna do, okay, initialize it. Initial disk. Yep. And then simple. Let's do, whatever E, that's fine. And right here, WSUS. Oh, no, right here I'm gonna data WSUS data. O2. O2. Okay, so alrighty. See, formatting. That's all we need. Now, let's confirm this right here. Let's go back in here. It's right here, like right there. Now we have it. Okay, now that we have that, let's get into colon. Oops, what am I doing? E colon WSUS 02. Let's make sure the path is right. So this is one of the, you have to, this is a must. It's a must data. Otherwise it's not gonna work. Underscore data. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Cause that's where Microsoft is gonna store the security patching, all the patches, okay. So we're not gonna reboot because it does not need a reboot. So the roll's gonna start. Once it starts, it's gonna sync, and I'll take you guys back to the other project. Let's see how, we'll give it a minute. If it takes, I know what process is gonna take longer. It's like the syncing process, where it starts up once we open up the actual console, the Windows server update services. That's when I start another wizard, where it's gonna give me that synchronization. When I start that synchronization, that's when that timeline could be up to an hour. I remember the last time I did it, took me like close to 2 hours or longer. I just left it alone and I came back the next day, but I already know it takes long. So right here, so then I'm gonna create the GPO. I'm gonna be going back and forth. I'm gonna just start the GPO. So WSUS02. Let's go up to domain controller. I'm going to a different host now, and I'm gonna go ahead and start the GPO. So this is DC1. This is where I have my DNS and my Active Directory. Okay, so let's open up. Okay, this is so if you look at the structure, domain controllers, and then we have servers. So I'm gonna point that O2 to servers. And remember, in the production, you don't have two WSUS servers because that's not practical. You only have two of those servers when you have a hierarchy, when you have upstream, downstream, when you have a remote site where you're pushing out your patching to another site, and then that server, you know, distributes the criticals and updates. So let's go ahead and open up. Um, let's open up our GPO. Let's get going. I'll go back right now. So I'm gonna put some. Here. So here it is. Here's my domain controller. I'm gonna create the. I'm gonna create. See, I already had removed this because. Oh, I have it. Oh, okay. So we're gonna create it from the top, but then I'll link it back to that GPO. WSUS 01. I'm gonna put this into the domain controller. Okay, so now. Okay, now link an existing GPO. Here it goes. 01. Look at that. I already have 02. But I'm right now focusing on 01. Right here. Let's edit. Now, here it is. So this is, so let's go into policy, and then I think I'm gonna put these settings on the description on the video. Template, Windows components, and then I think it's Windows Update or update, Windows Update. Yeah, right here. Okay, here it is. And now, intranet, Microsoft intranet. Here it goes, right here. This is where the GPO lives. So we want to enable it, and then we want to set these two addresses. So my address is going to be http colon / and that's WSUS 01. Now the port, let me go back and see that port. I think that port is 85. 85. I have it right here, I think. Where is it? You know, that's why it's always good to 8530. Okay, so this is the address. So 8530, and I'm gonna see how I'm gonna put this PowerPoint. 8530. This needs to be there because this is what's gonna on your DNS is gonna forward to your other servers. So that's the reason that the forwarding, the DNS forwarding, you got to make sure it works, right? Because it's not a reserve, just a forwarding. All right, so apply. We're not going to get into the details of other stuff. Okay, we got our GPO for 01 for one server. Now I'm gonna do the same thing, but it's gonna be for 02, right? Now we're gonna do the same thing for that server that I'm deploying now. Let's cancel this. Now let's go back to the top. Create GPO. This WSUS02. Create. Oh, name already exists. Okay, that's fine. So we'll do this. Look, we'll go into the servers because this I'm gonna separate DCs from servers. All right, link an existing GPO. Good. All right, there it goes. Now let's edit. Knock this out right now. Policy, administrative template, Windows component, and update. Intranet and the specific intranet Microsoft updates. Okay, now we have to enable it, and then we have to same port. It might change on depending on where you're at. It could be 80. I don't know, 80. You just got to make sure your settings are correct. Apply. I'm not pushing out anything yet because it's not Nothing's ready yet. I'm just getting it ready because once I get it going, then I'll on my second part, I'm gonna go ahead and add the server. So let's go back into let's go see the progress on on server one. It's still not completed, even though it says installation started, features installations. We can test. I already know it's not ready, but I think I might finish here. But I'm gonna go ahead and uh, and nope, it's not ready yet. Oh, it might be it. Let's see. Yeah, this is ready. Now it's gonna go through this path or is looking for it's gonna set the path to the server. Once this completes, then I get that other wizard. So yeah, I was about to close it out and do the rest on the second part, but look good. So once that is complete, I'm gonna go and I have another server. I have the other server going. Ugh. So I'm gonna take a little shot at uh, my tea. I'm gonna pause the video because I don't know how long this is gonna take. Just to be on the safe side, but I'm not gonna stop it. I'm just gonna pause it just to be on time. All right, so one part finished. Took like 10 minutes, 15. I thought it was gonna take longer. Okay, now we got this wizard, so we're continuing on this wizard. So it's gonna give us other. Remember, this server's a 2022. So I know in 2020, 2019, there's a little slight difference, but let's go ahead and say next. Nope, you don't want to join. I don't know. I've never joined because then you're probably gonna get a bunch of emails. But it's all up to you guys, depending on who's gonna deploy this. I'm definitely not gonna join, even though. Wait a minute. Is it not gonna? Oh yeah, it is good. Okay, so I'm not gonna use a proxy either. Let's go back here. I clicked two by accident. Synchronization from Microsoft. Okay, that's for sure. Unless if you have the upstream, right? Uh, if you have this is where your other server will go. If you're gonna do a hierarchy, so if this server was on a remote site and I'm running this wizard, I'm gonna add that address right here. All right. Next, no proxy. This is what once I start this, I'm gonna we might end the video because it is gonna take a long time. I already know, and whoever runs this knows. I'm just gonna do the second part and add another 10 minutes on this video. All right. Hopefully you guys learn something because I keep learning every day. Even though there's tons of videos out there and this is an easy process, but hey, once you do it successfully, you'll get remember like and this is the folder that was created and there's a couple more folders that's going to be added so Microsoft pushes the updates here and the automation however the automation works it pushes out but hopefully you guys have a good rest of the afternoon. All right.